Hi, Luminaires. Welcome to Energy Update of April 2022. Boy, I am already a bit out of body, so I'm going to do my best to stay present with you for this short moment and explain that if you are new here, hello, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Jamie Butler. I am a medium. I've been working worldwide, authoring books and lecturing, teaching about mediumship and being sensitive to energy. It's a passion of mine. And I also trance channel, which is what we're going to do today. I'm allowing a guide of mine, Maitland, to come through. She is much younger. So if you enjoy a very lighthearted, positive attitude towards receiving information about the energy of the month that we're approaching, you found the right place. If you want something a little bit more serious, there are some people out there, right? They want to hear their messages from like somebody wrapped in like a cloth, a wide, deep man's voice, very serious presentation. That's not what's about to happen here, though there's going to be some very intense messages about April. I'm already a bit slightly on edge, but very curious about how it's going to unfold. Those of you who are members to my YouTube channel, you are on the chat thread today. It's members only for the chat thread, but I do give a big shout out to the great public. If you want more private content, you can become a member on the YouTube channel. Like we have a closed class today talking about the crystals and the chakras and the aromatherapy that's going to be useful and helpful for the month of April. And I look forward to that. Maitland is also going to be teaching in that one. And if you head to my website, jamiebutlermedium.com, and sign up for the newsletter, you will get a full transcript of today's energy message. So if you like to have it on paper, just go over there. It's free, and there'll be a little link in it. You can download it and print it. Okay. If any of you are sensitive and you're observing this, whether it's live or recorded, you might feel a shift in the room. So just take a nice deep breath. And before I leave, I want to let you know that Colleen Ziegler is off screen.
Hi, everyone.
There she is. I'm not lying. So if anything is going down, she is on the chat thread helping you out. And if there needs to be anything, I don't know what to say here now.
We're good.
We're
I got
good.
your back.
She's got my back. I'm going to leave. Enjoy the feeling. Let's all take a nice deep breath together. Take it in. And release it at your own time. I'll see you later. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Maitland.
Hi, Colleen. And your itchies. Not like January. Welcome to April's energy update. My name is Maitland, Maitland, and I'm going to give you as much information as I can because there is so much that's going to be happening in April, but I want to make sure that we keep this nice and short because a lot of people can't watch the whole video. So I want to lay it all out. I'm going to talk about the energy of April, the highs and lows of it. I'm going to talk about which chakras are going to be needed, challenged, and supported, and which crystals that you can use to support, like to help the energies move better for you. And we'll talk a little bit about gridding. And then I have an aromatherapy mix that is the frequencies that will really help you in this cute little month. That's bookended by the new moon right at the beginning and right at the end. That's something special. That doesn't happen all the time. In fact, there's a lot of really interesting planetary movement and positioning right now in the universe and around the earth for the month of April. Like if we look at when I mentioned at the beginning of the year how the planets are direct and they're going to be direct through to like the end of April, and all that direct planetary energy is just like a slip and slide, just making the energy flow right where it needs to go in a bit of a quicker pace. That's happening up until the end of April, like around the 26th or so. And so we have all that pushing through. And then we have all this unique placement of planets that are increasing the energy. So for the month of March, last month, I said I had nicknamed it turn up the volume, like turn up the volume. I can't hear it. Make it bigger, make it bigger. Like that's what March wanted to do. It wanted to amplify. Well, April got the message and it's amplified quite a bit. I would like to nickname April the Great Awakening. And of course, if you're awakening, it means that there were many parts that were asleep. And so we're going to talk about those too. So, right at the beginning of the month, the first week, it's kind of strange. You'll come into the month when you're really energy sensitive and you'll feel more inspired. Like like the world is lighter even though a lot is going on, and you'll be hopeful and full of manifesting, creating, ideas. And then you're going to get this edge of being assertive to yourself, being, protective of your boundaries and very much in the leadership role. So right at the beginning, it's creative to leadership. And then the first week, kind of like week and a half, it's this stop and go energy. It's, oh, no, no, no. The path is wide open for you. Please take it. And you go to take it and you get met with a wall or some rule or regulation or something that stops you. And it's like, but you said that I could go and now you can't go. And you might be internalizing that as that you have done something wrong to stop the flow of energy. And I would like to politely remind you this time it's not about you. How does that feel? That probably feels really good. This time is not about you. So when the energy stops you at the beginning and you're on this momentum, take a nice deep breath and sit down. Think about it as a forced break, kind of like in your kindergarten. That's what it's called. In your kindergarten classes, there's always nap time, and you have to stop the lessons and the play and take a nap. So I'd like for you to view the energy that way rather than get frustrated. Because April, this great awakening, um, is happening kind of around April 12th, April 13th, April 14th, where if you're energy sensitive, actually it's anybody globally around the world, that your sensitivities are going to be really increased. People are going to jump levels of consciousness. They're going to just immediately open and know themselves in a deeper way. And they might not understand why they know this information, but they do. So I'm going to ask those who have already taken a great awakening step to show kindness to the others that might be freaking out or that are beneath you going, I just don't understand. Time is moving so fast. I'm having these dreams, these feelings, these, knowings of something that's going to happen, and I don't know why I'm doing this. The whole evolution to the new earth phase that we've talked about, it's I've already given you several hints that we've already begun. Starting last year, like start time, we are in this, but you're really going to see it quite globally in April. There's so much power and there's so much energy in April, just on Earth, just in the planets, just coming from the sun, just coming from this photonic light. I mean, we can narrow it down to just anything because just everything is super heightened. And it's going to demand that you stay in a place of acceptance and peace, which means you got to get into you, like you grounded, centered. You got to call your energy in so close that it's just wrapping around your bones. Just bring it in. We don't need to focus our light and our energy to shine bright and far, far, far out so that we experience the intuitive aspect of Earth anymore. The intuitive aspect and the sensitivity is on your skin. It's just on you, and that's what's going to increase the ability for you to reach new levels of, you can call it psychic, mediumship, consciousness. We all have different labels for what we experience, but that's going to be happening big time. So please show compassion to those that are experiencing it for the first time. In this power up, you've worked through 2020, which was basically get to know thyself. Learn how to look at yourself and prioritize yourself and your needs. And then 2021 was really pushing, come down from your head, Rapunzel, come down from your head and into your heart. And we practiced a lot of getting to feel and expressing how you feel, and heart opening, healing old wounds and trauma, and heart opening. There's all the languages out there everywhere right now, and I'm super in love with that. Now that you've moved your core processing away from the logistics and more into the feeling, now it's an application of 2020. It's a lot of forward momentum in 2020, but we need to say that it will come from your level of acceptance. What are you able to accept? And you're going to have a great challenge to the self for April. The body is going to be very challenged with these high frequencies that are here in April. They move and vibrate and oscillate at such fastest speeds that your body's not used to that. And your subtle energy and your emotions, they're not used to all of that. So it's different. So please show patience and kindness to self, because the power that's going to be here can amplify your direction. So if you have acceptance, and I'm going to pause and talk about acceptance right now. Acceptance is not just only accepting that which you want to have into your life. Acceptance goes beyond opinion. Acceptance goes beyond your judgment, and will ask of you to accept even that which you do not enjoy, that which you do not think is favorable, that which you might deem as terrible or awful or wrong, to apply acceptance across everything. So maybe now when you hear it that way, you realize I'm not saying acceptance in just this easy way going, yeah, that's cool. It's even that which you don't want to be with, you apply acceptance to it. So it could be personal pain, emotional heartbreak, misunderstandings, all these things. It's very important because the power in April, if it's amplifying you, because there's just so much intensity, and you are in the position of coming from the heart and applying acceptance, then your ability to perceive life in its truest form, in its energetic form, is going to skyrocket. Your ability to move through life with great ease, even when the life on earth is having a lot of struggle, you will have ease with it. If you find that you cannot stretch acceptance over everything and you are still latching on to the judgments and hanging on to right and wrong, and I've been explaining probably since last November, duality is having a really rough time, and it's in a tantrum right now because it's falling apart. It's not working very well anymore. And if you're latching on to those judgments and the right and wrong, this power in April is shaking it so firmly that you're going to have a hard time sticking to your perspective And you might feel as if you are crumbling and falling away, that there is a meaningless or a nothingness or an emptiness. And so if you find yourself stuck in that trap and you feel very pushed down, I would like for you to look internally and say, what am I holding on to that doesn't need to be held anymore? And April will provide great energy to look at yourself that way and heal. No problem. So now that you understand the acceptance part, with all of this high frequency vibrations, judgments are going to kind of unravel, opinions and strong, like compromising, manipulative leaderships, they're going to rattle pretty hard. And then at the end of the month, there's some special energy that comes in, and it's taking all the power that's coming through April, and it's saying, you know what, we can dismantle this now. Anything that you are done with and that's not working, we can help you break it down. I'm speaking globally, so this is not just this internal journey of old and living an old style of life that doesn't fit you anymore. Government structures, we're looking at people who might decide that they haven't, wanted to be on Earth through this, and they want to go ahead and leave. So at the end of April, there's going to be more transition of life to death. There's going to be a lot more conflict or war or tear apart, so that we can really build the new Earth in the way that we want. You're going to see with such clarity, and speaking from being energy myself, most energy sensitive people on earth have this really sensitive, soft compassion, and you have a lot of flexibility and compromise in you. But you might find that you don't have the flexibility and the compromise anymore, because you see so clearly that you just simply say, I'm done with that. I will never do it again. And you won't. So this can be done with great joy and excitement, because maybe you've wanted to shed that way and be done with it. Or if you're holding on to it really hard and you're still enjoying that duality and judgment, it might be a really rough battle for you. But that's kind of at the end of the month. Now, I reserved one little bit because I wanted to end on a happier note. Is that with all of this great power, this the great spiritual awakening, the great awakening of April, when you're in this energy, you will find your people so much easier. Like there's this magnetism in April. You choose to shine your peace, and you should choose to shine your light authentically. It's like, ooh, your power levels just go up, and then you start to attract to others that resonate your way. So this month, you might feel as if you just have special new friendships and love interests and communities. And I really love the word special. It's just a sweetness, it's a surprise, it's a, I never knew I needed a friend like you, or I didn't know I could be in love like this. There's so much energy packed in between a new moon and a new moon. And if we're talking about crazy stuff too, Mercury, that you don't like to hear its name because it's in retrograde, is not in retrograde, but it's moving so fast. It's going through zoom, 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 and ending up in like all different kinds of astrological signs. And it's just going to help the momentum, and the planets are direct until the end of the month. So all of this is just rushing and rushing and rushing, and all this conflict where we're like, turn the volume up. I can't see what everybody's feeling and thinking of March now is so loud that everybody's seeing clearly, and there can be big, big conflict and argument and big, big alignment. The alignment part I'm super excited about, because there's many of you luminaires that are out there that have really been calling for that partner, that friendship, that place where you feel like it's home. This is it. I wouldn't be surprised, well, if a lot of people in April also decided, you know what, I've always wanted to start this career and I've always wanted to do this, and you do it because there's so much energy in the month. Those things that maybe you're afraid of doing or you were a little uneasy about, you're like, not anymore. So maybe you were afraid of roller coasters. And then in April, you're like, not anymore. I'm going to ride a roller coaster. You start to approach these parts of you that just don't hold power over you anymore because you have such great clarity. So I hope that has made some sense, because I want to talk about the chakra that is um, being needed, challenged, and supported the most. And the one that's being needed the most is your earth chakra, and that's at the bottom of your feet. And the crystal that I would pair with the earth chakra would be hematite, like it's magnetic. And the energy of April is really magnetic. So I thought that was fitting. Oh, it's super cleansing. Um, it's like it's really good for the blood too, just kind of purifying everything, pulling it out, keeping you grounded. Is it super important that you stay very centered? When you feel like you're flying off the handle and you feel like things are too rushed or you're missing the mark, stop, stop. Well, what does Grace say? Just
Stop it.
just stop it. You just stop it, and you get calm and you get still. And hematite's going to be really good for that. Get out into the earth a lot. Enjoy the warmth of sun and the hugging of trees and wood. All of that super, super grounding. Um, so we need our grounding big time for April. Pay attention to your feet. Do you know you can get a golf ball and put it underneath your feet and roll your feet over the golf ball, and that can stimulate the earth chakra, and that can really help. It also helps for the root chakra as well, to kind of cleanse that loose energy that's not helping it, so it can self-balance. And then the chakra that's going to be challenged the most is unfortunately going to be your solar plexus. Because if you are holding on to fear, uneasiness, judgments, opinions, really like a self righteousness in a way that is not in alignment to your authenticity, because you don't want to slow down and look at really who you are, maybe because of traumas or misunderstandings, it's going to get challenged this month. It's not so much of a who are you kind of a challenge, because the solar plexus is all about the me, me, me. It's more of um, why. It's a why are you choosing to show up that way? Why are you being this way? And that's extremely different than asking the who am I? It's the why. So you're going to be back logging in stories and figuring out who you are. That's why I chose citrine. It's actually citrine is very, it's very sweet and calming. It's not like a bumblebee jasper where it's like, let's get up and go and let's get some things done. This is more of a, I'm going to change what is not working into something that is working for you. So it's a good transcriber in that way. And it helps keep your me chakra more polished and more focused onto why are you making the choices that you're making, which is connecting you to the meaning of who you are. And April is super, super good for that. So I would use citrine. And then the chakra that is going to be supported a lot is going to be your higher consciousness chakra. That's 2 feet above your head. I was going to go for the crown chakra, but that frequency is a little bit lower, I think, because I am very serious when I say the energy that's moving through this month, bookend by the moon, not kidding, is vibrating higher than ever before. So it's like, why are we going to stop here? It's time for us to expand our human existence higher up into the etheric chakras that we have. And so, higher consciousness, I chose selenite frequency to support it. Selenite, again, is sweet, just like the citrine. Not so much like the hematite. Hematite's very almost, well, I don't want to say aggressive, but that was the word I was coming to mind. It just likes to pull you down and do its work. Whereas these are like, it's okay, we can sing a song first or take a nap. Everything is going to be okay. And the selenite, not only will it help you with that great awakening, because it itself helps you reach higher levels of spirituality, consciousness. And if that's something you're super attracted to, this is going to help so much, and you're really going to enjoy April. With gridding, I would actually, I'd use all three of these, and that's what I would grid my bed with. I would grid it with the hematite, with the citrine, and the selenite, because hematite's a great protector. And I would keep these three together, and I would put a set of them on the corner of your bed. You have four corners, not a single corner, on the four corners of your bed. And if you want to feel more encased in the energy, let's say if you're really hypersensitive or you're going through a difficult time, and you can describe what difficult time means to you, then I would put a set above your bed so that you sleep in it like a pyramid, and it can pull that energy in and just kind of bathe you in it all night while you're sleeping. Super important. If you're really into the smell therapy, then what I suggest for April is equal amounts, whether that's 111, 222, 333, equal amounts of cedarwood, which is great for the earth chakra and the root chakra, so keeping you grounded, with rosemary, which is very green. And my goodness, it's so good for everything. Just the lungs, anxiety. It just lifts a mood, which is going to help you release the judgments and the opinions and stay more peaceful. So that powerful energy in April will help you lift rather than rattle. You want to lift. And then I would pair it with vetiver. Vetiver is a very kind of earthy smell as well, which, I said it's going to be very important to stay centered and stay grounded. So you have three essential oils, you combine them together, which is cedarwood, rosemary, and vetiver. And you can put it into a water base and you can spray it. I would always do the research, and I wouldn't apply essential oil directly to your skin. I like to use it as a room spray or a diffuser. So this is the energy of April, the great awakening, that at the end of it has like an open window for transition or garage door. I think it's much bigger than a window. It's like an open garage door for transition. I like these. Is there any need for clarity on anything that I've shared? Luminaires, I love you.
I told them you'll be diving deeper into this at 3 p.m. today for the Luminabob and higher members.
I'm going to talk a lot more about the stones and why I picked them and what's happening with the chakras, and a lot more about the essential oil. I like having the tools like this to go with the messages, so that when you, who is very energy sensitive, leave and you get the messages and you go, well, that's nice. I look forward to that, or I'll see how it is. And then all of a sudden you find yourself in it and you go, what to do, where to turn, what to say. You just have this kind of there for you to help you with that energy in that time frame. So to me, I find it very helpful. I tried to not speak as fast and more direct this time. I get very excited about these things, and I get to come back and talk more. So April, it's the great awakening with the garage door. at the last week or so to let all that which got shooken up, that's not wanting to stay, to get out. And that goes for not just people, but animals and plants. It also goes for government, it goes for money, structures, leaders. I wouldn't be surprised if in this month we watch leaders go down and other ones that we didn't even know wanted to be leaders step up. And, their innovation and newness, the way they see things, that will be very inspiring. It's definitely not a month to sit on the bench. It's action time. Get up, do those things, do them. Just do it. Just stop it and just do it.
And know when to do either one.
Yeah.
Nothing complicated about that, right?
It's so easy. Was there any statement or any?
We have a couple of statements. You want to take a couple?
Yeah.
Anne is asking, how do you make the difference if you are being judgmental or simply living your truth, who you really are? How do you know who you really are beyond the fears and trauma, etc.?
Identifying authenticity, I think, starts from being curious, and that's the identifying marker. So if you are expressing an opinion and it is of other and not of self, then that's going to fall more into your personal perspective. But if it is coming across as fact and it's your personal perspective, then we fall into terms of judgment. Now, if it's about yourself, and most time you don't even know to question yourself because you are who you are, and you're not expected to be any different than who you are. So I would say adapt being curious, and you would simply ask yourself, why do I say that? Why do I believe that? Why do I act that way? And if you find better answers inside or through therapy or another outlet that is giving you better answers that you align more with, then you can take that which you experienced and shift it, change it into more being authentic instead of running on a system like a robot and not being able to identify kind of the core of where you want to move from. Does that make sense?
It does. So I'm going to ask you one last question and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
Jessica Briggs is asking, do you have any extra tips on staying peaceful? And I'm going to say for this month specifically.
Oh, specifically for this month, that's a very good question, because that's the biggest note I gave Jamie too. It's on this paper. Don't forget to be peaceful, like stay in peace. And she's not really that rowdy of a person. And so if I'm up her leg telling her she's got to stay peaceful, then that probably gives you an idea of what kind of energy is out there. I would say to stay peaceful is to first acknowledge the conflict that's in front of you. And so that could be through conversation, that could be observing the news, it could be observing another person's relationship or situation or lifestyle or what's happening. You first acknowledge the conflict, that which is not in alignment with you, instead of ignoring it and saying it's going to be fine. And instead of saying, if I give it attention, I'll make it bigger, just look at it. Go, I am not in alignment with that. And then you get curious. This is my big one. Be consistently curious for April and go, why don't I like that? Why am I in conflict with that? And then if you keep boiling it down to why, and you just keep asking yourself, the answer is going to get real simple. And then you can look at the simple answer and go, okay, I can be good with that. And if you're not good with that, then you just gave yourself some really great self-counseling, and now you know what you can power up and look at. But if you did like it and you could accept it, then you just simply say, okay, I'm at peace with that. I will hold acceptance for it. Now, peace is very different than joy. I'm not asking that you find laughter and happiness all for April, because most likely you won't. I didn't mean to say it like that, but I kind of did. But don't take it like a fact. You'll find happiness. It's just not one of those months where you're always skipping and picking flowers and just thinking everything is wonderful. That's only because there's so much higher frequency energy coming in that you'll just kind of be knocked off and like, what's happening? Where's this going? This is so crazy. It's so crazy. But like in a more aligning kind of a way of saying it's so crazy, not trying to demean it. So when I'm talking about peace, don't get it confused with happiness. It's at peace. It's more in alignment with acceptance. These are so much fun. Okay.
Thank you so much, Maitland.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to seeing the Luminaires later today. I think it's at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to talk more about the stones, aromatherapies, and chakras. And I super appreciate you giving me your attention. And if you want the transcripts, make sure you sign up for the newsletter because you'll get the link. And that's on jamiebutler-medium.com. I remembered it all. Bye, Luminaires. I'll see you later, alligators.
Bye, Maitland. Thank you.
Bye.